I'm Yonjo with Truth is Change Tarot, and I'm here with your monthly reading. I'm here to talk to Sagittarius. Alright, let's begin. So your overall message is the perseverance, labor, and luck. And first, I think the first thing that's kind of off the bat, because I can already feel y'all's energy, is that you're taking on too much. Like, instead of like thriving in the general situations that you are in, it seems like your perseverance is really awesome, but when you're wanting to work hard, it's almost like you want to get that energy in return as opposed to just like having to like truck it through. It's kind of what I'm imagining. It's having to like, yeah, having to like truck it through. And I think it almost feels like you're like waiting for something, some outside force to just kind of take you out of the situation that you're in the month of October. But I don't think, generally from what the cards are saying, that I think some event is going to come about, but I think it's something that it's almost like a spark that you're going to get from your own self. Some spark in your mind is just going to go off to help you understand kind of how to work better, so you don't have to like feel like you have to truck through and persevere, but also just kind of like actually just thrive. All right, so we're gonna move on to your love reading. So right now you have, for the singles, the King of Wands and the Moon card. And here in the King of Wands, as a single person, you're very much fully in your element, fully in your fire and your passion and your drive. I mean, the Wands are all about the fire signs, Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries. And if it's not you, it's somebody else, kind of driven person in your life. But there's an element of mystery here. And that's speaking in the kind of rest of your cards as well. There's an element of mystery. The moon is here. Perhaps it has to do with sort of circumstances and synchronicities that are coming about in your life since the lunar eclipse that happened this past, I believe it was the 16th or the 18th. Yeah, so this past energy is kind of making you feel shrouded, or like you're not coming off the way you want to seem like you are. It seems like there's just like a disconnect that's happening in terms of how you relate to other people, how you relate to your crushes, to your sweeties, to potential sweeties, whatever. It just seems like there's almost like an illusionary aspect that's coming about in the way that people perceive you. And that's frustrating. It seems like it's really frustrating you because you're not able to move through those clouds, but I think there's some elements of not being able to move through that because it's something else that's happening in synchronicities and events that are outside of your control. I'm like seeing, So the next part of your reading is for the couples out there. So couples meaning committed, primary partner, or not primary partner, for polyamorous folks out there, and any sort of like, you know, agreed upon relationship. So I would include that as dating. And like dating, but you're not sure what it is exactly. So seems like, so you have the Page of Pentacles in the reverse and the Page of Wands in the reverse. So there is or there must have been some sort of lack of communication or just not hearing each other. And I think it's something that happened in the past, that this earth energy sign, this earth energy, which is Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, has done. So I'm sensing it's like some sort of like disagreement, argument, mistake that you, earth sign, or fire sign, Sagittarius, are looking back on, and you and your partner have two different understandings of what that incident was. And I think what the incident is surrounding, clarification, the magician. So it's surrounding, so the magician has to do with sort of manifesting what you want to see. So maybe there's an argument or a long-standing dynamic in your relationship that you don't see eye to eye on around just like how to move things forward in your life. And I think that means really in terms of like, I'm just thinking, like, should we move to this location? Should we, I want to say it's like kind of pursuing your dreams in the context that the magician is here right now. It's pursuing your dreams, it's creating and making them happen, and y'all have different understandings of what that looks like, or how that looks like, or what dream that is even to pursue. And y'all are just having a really hard time, you know, just what that looks like. Maybe it has to do, I don't think it has to do necessarily with relationship boundaries. I think too, I don't think it has to do with relationship boundaries. I think it has to do with almost moving to the next step and manifesting what that looks like. Yeah, definitely. Any other messages from there? Nope. All right, so for your work, career, and school finances, you have the Two of Pentacles in the reverse, the Six of Wands, and the Death card. So there's definitely a decision that you're having trouble making in terms of pursuing this passion, in terms of pursuing a adventure that will bring about like, that will shower you with success and achievement. Definitely success. I mean, you're going to reach success at some point, but there's a decision that you haven't made regarding finances, balancing your work-home life, that hasn't gotten you to this point of success, ultimate success, fulfillment. Almost like people are showering you with affection around you in terms of your accomplishments, and you haven't gotten there because you just haven't really done what it takes to kind of figure out what needs to balance itself and really it might be just a fear of just making a decisive decision and kind of like tiptoeing around it. And I know with Sagittarius, y'all love to just kind of explore different options, but right now you need to make a decision. And once that decision happens, everything that needs to happen needs to be put in place, that needs to change, will come about once you kind of unblock, make the decision that will lead to the success, and you'll be able to successfully make changes to your life. I don't think it's particularly talking about your environment. I think it really has to do with your own internal struggle in terms of pursuing your passion, what actually fulfills you. All right. So the next message you have is around community, around, I would say, community, almost friendships too, larger friendships, spirituality, other messages that are coming about. So you have the Seven of Swords, Seven of Crystals in the reverse. And then you have the Six of Pentacles in the reverse, or Six of Worlds. And then you have the Fool card. So it definitely seems like either there is this, first thing I got in my mind, I'll just tell y'all, is I'm fooling myself. I'm fooling myself. That's the first message that I got. Perhaps because the Fool is in there, but I think also with the Seven of Swords in the reverse, it's almost like this internalized deception. It's this thing that you're kind of telling yourself, messages that you're telling yourself that are kind of clouding the truth. You're telling yourself these messages so you can feel some sort of balance, but you're not actually achieving the balance that you want to have. And I think in terms of kind of community and in spirituality, I think that's more so speaking towards community. It's almost like you're internalizing the messages that do not serve you, obviously, but have led you. They don't serve you because they've led you to feel like you've tricked yourself, like you fooled yourself, like you are the clown or whatever, and it really makes you feel out of balance in the situation that you are, in the environment that you're in, and forces you into this space of really feeling like, into this space where you just feel like you kind of are just floating almost. You're like, well, what comes next? Now that I am realizing that I need to wade out of this kind of self-deception, what comes next? And I believe what comes next is the Fool card. It's taking a risk. I mean, with this deck, it's the Fool child. So the Fool has this childlike energy of taking a risk. And this definitely is connected to your energy as a Sagittarius now. Definitely. I mean, y'all are all about, like I said, about exploration, about taking a risk, about finding a new adventure, about being in nature, all these things. And what is really going to fulfill you, help you understand your place or role in community, fulfill you in terms of spirituality, is taking this risk. And I think you already know what this risk is. I think because it's been building up to unblocking this kind of self-deception and this lack of balance, you'll be able to really see and unearth what risk you need to take so you have this sort of balance of fulfillment again. Because right now, it feels like very stifling, and it does not feel good to feel stifling. I'm just like feeling all this weight on me, like it's stifling. So I guess in October, you'll really come to terms with that and really have an experience where it forces you to face that. Alright, so your last cards, your advice cards. I'm like, is there any other messages from this deck? So I clarified the Six of Worlds with the Six of Pentacles, and I got the Five of Crystals. And Five of Crystals in the reverse has to do with sort of releasing conflict. It has to do with releasing this sort of unsure, uneasy thoughts. And I think this is something that's going to guide you towards this risk that you need to take, and just kind of unearthing what you need to do, letting go what doesn't make sense for you in terms of these self-defeating, self-deception that you've gotten yourself into or been forced into, and move towards those new risks that you have to take. Alright, so the messages that you have for the overall device is allow stillness to heal and reveal. And I think that's definitely speaking to your love life. And this is actually a card that Scorpio just got. So it's probably all connected to this kind of lunar energy that's been happening. But I believe it connects to the singles reading here, is that, you know, there's going to be some things, especially with this other card too, but there's going to be some things that you can't control, and it hurts when you're in those situations. But I think there's going to be a momentary stillness that's going to allow you, just kind of sitting in that, is going to allow you to feel when that sort of cloudiness and, yeah, illusion is going to break apart. And the next card you have is, we are all sisters and reflect the divine in one another. We are all sisters and we reflect the divine in one another. And I think, yeah, I think this goes to what I just said in terms of your kind of risk that you need to take is what's going to also help you through, since it has to do with community and spirituality, is really like connecting with folks who do ground you, who do kind of maybe kind of synchronize, become back in your life and bring you memories and reminders of what you were before all this sort of energy has taken place. And the last one you have is, I trust the mystery of life. And again, that's what the Scorpios got right before you, is trusting this light, or trusting this the mystery of life, just sitting in mystery and understanding that everything that's moving forward is moving forward, especially with, like I said before, with your career and the death, is that these changes are coming about, and just kind of fall into it. Just fall into it. I mean, that's what I think again, this luck card has to do with synchronicity, is just kind of falling into the things that come about that help you transform in the way that you need to do, and that you need to. All right, well, that's your reading, Sagittarius. Thanks for listening. And if you would like a personal reading from me, email me at truthischangetarot@gmail.com. I have the information about my rates below. And yeah, blessings.